The 2024 Advocate for Iowa Agriculture Award is presented to Darcy Maulsby. The Yetter native and fifth-generation farmer has become well known as Iowa's storyteller as she travels the state, capturing Iowa's beauty one photo and story at a time. Each photo, story, and speech Darcy creates is authentic, making it easy to connect with her audience.
I've been just overjoyed to grow my ag career here in Iowa. I grew where I was planted. I started off my career like a lot of ag journalists do. I worked for various ag companies for about 6 years down in the Des Moines metro. But then came the dot-com crisis, and I got laid off from a job that I really liked as an ag editor. And I was 28, and I said, I will never be this vulnerable to anybody again. So I hung out my own shingle, and that was 2002.
Over the years, Darcy has shared her talents with the Iowa Soybean Association through her involvement with the Iowa Food and Family Project. She has written for the quarterly Fresh Pickings magazine produced by the Iowa Food and Family Project and brings light and energy to her stories. Her unique ability to connect history, agriculture, and human interest all in one story leaves readers wanting more.
Had I stayed in corporate America, I might not have been able to develop my talents as fully and serve as many people as I have with more of a freelance operation. So now being able to have clients all over Iowa and beyond, plus being an author of 7 Iowa nonfiction history books, it really has allowed me to reach a wider audience and making that farm to fork connection than I probably would have had I stayed in corporate America.
Involvement on her family's Century Farm in Calhoun County inspired Darcy to share the story of agriculture.
My dad, Jim Doherty, said, well, maybe you should go to Iowa State and really key in on ag journalism because there aren't a lot of kids growing up on farms anymore that have that firsthand experience. It shaped my whole career. And then along the way, I've met great people that are just as passionate about this as I am. People like Aaron Putsey from Iowa Soybean that understand the value of true stories well told.
Darcy shares the story of agriculture and connects it to the lives of consumers.
A long time ago, I learned that if you are not at the table, you're probably on the menu. And I want farmers to have that voice at the table. And we do hear that term a lot, tell your story, but I don't think people really understand what that means. I want you to tell me about those pivot points, those sticky issues, those things that maybe caused a little bit of heartache, but launched you on a whole different path, or maybe made you think a little differently about how you run the farm. Those are the kinds of things that even non-farmers can relate to, because they understand not knowing a roadmap of how we plan our lives. They understand facing obstacles in life and how you overcome them. That's going to be a good story. I'm very humbled to receive an award like this. I don't do it for the awards. I'm just out there trying to do the best job I can every day to tell ag's story. But what I do appreciate about groups like Iowa Soybean that give awards like this, it does give you a broader platform to reach more people and tell more of these stories. So I commend Iowa Soybean for all the work they do to help make those farm to fork connections, make those rural to urban connections. The need is great, the work continues, but together we can make good things happen.
On behalf of the Iowa Soybean Association, congratulations, Darcy.